Howdy, everybody. Elcrex here. Well, I've been following over here with Palmer for a long time now, and he did his video of all the shaving stuff that he has, and he's been getting into wet shaving. I started back in the 70s, went for about 15 years, and then in about 93 or so, things went kind of south on the market. They started going to those cartridge razors more, and it was getting harder to find razors, and plus other circumstances which I'll talk about in a minute or so. But this is my collection of stuff that I have at the moment. And I'll set the camera down here. I got it on the stand, but I'm just holding it because it doesn't all fit underneath the screen well enough. So I'm going to put this down and discuss each one of these and what they mean. All right, let's put this down here. Hopefully it's not too bad. There we go. Oop. Just came out of the stand. There we go. All right. Move some of these off the side. All right. So, let's get this all candid up. Not the best thing. But about 78 or so, when I was a teenager, you start shaving and everything. And for quite a few years, I spent time, stay with your grandparents, and you got your own parent, dad that would shave and everything, and they taught you how to shave. And then my one grandfather passed away, and I was handed off a lot of his shaving equipment. Because no one else wanted it, and I was like, I'll take it. And so it was one of those things where a lot of fond memories with it. So I just go through the prevalent stuff here. Now this right here, this mug right here, this is a Old Spice mug. I think this is 40s, maybe 50s, somewhere in there. I think it's 40s. I have to take a look. But it's been around for a long time, and it has some, I think this is a boar hair brush, this right here, this is a boar brush, but this belonged to my grandfather, my mother's side, and I have some good memories of it, watching him do his shaving. When you're a young kid, you're impressionable, so that was just something that I wanted to have because no one else wanted it. It was going to get tossed at the time. And it's like this right here is this Bay Rum Avon aftershave, and it smells really good. And every time I smell this, I just flash back. I can remember my grandfather. There's still a little bit left in it. And it used to be about half, because he used to go through these. He had a bunch of them, and I would put a little bit into some hand lotion and use it as my after lotion, put on my face, keep it moist. And so that was something I have some. I can't find them yet. I've been digging. Avon came in these cars too. They had these long cars that you would have, and they'd have aftershave in it, cologne, and for men. And I was like, yeah, I have them. I don't know where they're probably in another box. We got boxes stacked up in our storage area in our basement, so they're in one of them someplace. Now, so that was part of his stuff. Now, this is the interesting thing here. This is his razor. This is a Gillette adjustable. I think they call these a slim. I'll take a look. I'm still getting back into it. You have settings 1 through 9. And when I used to use this, I typically would, I usually shaved at a 3 or 4 setting. And you open it up, butterfly. I guess they call it a TTO or something, twist to open. I figured that out here just a couple days ago. Put your blade in there and then close it up and then go to town. So that was my grandfather's razor, which, you know, some good fond memories. I used to use it every once in a while. I ended up getting my own eventually that was similar to this, and I'll show that in a little bit. But that's his razor. And then my other grandfather, this was his mug, his shaving mug that he had. He had a whole bunch of them. This one here he left. He had his own camper. You know, after my grandmother passed away, he sold his house, and he'd have a camper, and then he'd come into the house, and he'd stay in his camper, and then come in the house and shave. And this one he left at the house. He said, "Here, you can have this one. This one's yours." Because I would always talk with him, sit with him when he was shaving all the time. That was kind of a thing that we used to do. And that, you know, has some memories. He had, I think my dad has another one just like this that he picked up. And he has my dad has his razor, which was a star razor, and he still has that one. I was just talking with him the other day, and he had it still, and he uses it every once in a while or I used to use it once in a while when he had blades for it. He's been using an electric shaver forever now, but he still has all of his blades. He has a Fat Boy Gillette. Oh, here's another one from him. This was another, I'm not sure, I think this would hold water and you put soap or something in it. This was just something that was, they had that was patent. So here you can have this one. I think this is an old style shaving mug from the day. So I'm not sure exactly what it for, but I never seen it in use, so I don't know exactly. Maybe the puck goes underneath. I don't know. And then this is my other grandfather. This was an Avon shaving mug. All he ever did was just hold his brushes in it. And this is, I think this is a horsehair brush, an old rubber set can't even say it. Horsehair brush. Say that 10 times fast. And I've never used it. To me, it was just too coarse. But maybe someday I'll try to use it. Some of these are like forever and old. Okay, I think I've gone through all that. Now these right here are my two. These belong to me. That's my brush that I got. Oh, speaking of, here's another one. Still in the box. This is a made right shaving brush. Still fresh in the box. This would be a Badger made right 400 count brush. Pure Badger brush. Something like that, patent something. Pure Badger 400 PB. I'm not sure what PB stands for, but that was one of my grandfather's brush. That's his brush. So I'll put that outside. Now these right here are mine. I got them when I was. Now I got the first one as a gift set from my grandmother. One of these two. I'm not sure exactly which one because they're identical. And it had a Old Spice shaving soap inside a puck that you put in. It came in like a foil wrapper. Put it in there, and then it had an aftershave. You know, the Old Spice aftershave, and I think it was something else in there. Maybe a deodorant or something. I don't know. It's been a while. And it came in this box, and I kept this part. I used to have the Old Spice aftershave, but I never used it. I never was a big fan of putting aftershave on because I just never been a fan of being overly smelly, to be honest with you. So I had these two. This is the one brush that I have. Just, I think, it might be Boar. Not sure. Made in Britain. So, another one. But you used to go to like Walmart or someplace like that, and you just buy the replacement puck, and I would put it in there and use it. And then sometime around 90, 91, they quit making it, and it ran out, and I just quit using it. So it just was for a display for a while. But during the early years, this was my first razor. This is a Schick butterfly style. I used this for quite a few years till about 93, and that was my first razor that I used as a kid. Got this, I think, around 78, because let's see, 78 would have been 8th grade. Yeah, 8th grade. So that's when I started using that, and it got some use, quite a bit of use over the years. And then when I graduated high school and I had my own job, I got myself another razor. This is a Gillette razor. This is your typical twist to open razor. It's seen a lot of use over the years. Adjustable. Heck, it's still on 3. So used this for quite a few years, and then when they couldn't get any more razor blades for a while there, it's like the market dried up on them, I put this thing away. I have several other ones, because when I was going through well, one thing what kind of changed me using blades was when I went in 1990, when I went through basic training for the Army. They wouldn't let you have blades, but you had to go to the PX, and we marched all over there in a mass formation. And then we'd go in and say, all right, here's your shopping list. And as you walk in, it's like the people working there knew exactly what was on your shopping list. So it was like you walk down the line, you have your little bag, and, the cloth bag holding it open, for your laundry bag, and they just dump things in, and then you walk around. It's like, okay, go down this aisle, and they just dunk, drop them in, because they pull them right out of these big boxes, because they did it every day practically down at Fort Jackson. And one of the things you had to get was a cartridge razor. That was the first time I ever used a cartridge razor, and it's like, okay, I never used one of these things before. So, but that's when I started using cartridges. It was about 1990, and they made you get a can of, I think it was Barbasol spray for shaving, and I never used it. And then they would over the years would I would just shave in the shower, so that was one of the things I would do. But then when I went to Officer Candidate School in 93, I had to have a display case where you have shaving soap, you would have razors, etc. And you'd have to have all that on display. And I had a couple of my, had several of these. I bought another one at the time. I had 2 of these in the 80s. So the other one was hardly ever used. And I put that one, use it on display. And then recently, when I was talking with my wife, trying to find all this stuff, because we remodeled our bathroom about 5-6 years ago. And I was like, where are all the old razors? And it's like, well, they were all old ones, and I don't think anybody used them. I just threw them out. And I was like, so she threw out my spares and some of my old cartridge razors I used to have over the years. So that's just nature of the beast. So I was like, oh, they were all lost. So I've been spending time looking for my mugs because I knew we had those someplace. Now, here's some recent edition stuff. You know, it's like I picked this up here not too long ago. You know, it's another brush, and got this Gillette. This is a new Gillette. You got the blade still in there, but you got to open it up. I think Palmer has one of these, or similar to him. I think his is a Mercor, but it's the same concept. You go in and you put the blade in, and you can still feel it there. There's the blade. Not quite. Doesn't cover the end, because that's one thing I liked about the other ones. You'd have these ends, because you can still kind of cut yourself on the edges right there. But here's recent edition. I started buying these because I used to buy Old Spice shaving pucks for putting in these cups, and that's what I always use for when I was shaving. Now, you know, you can't get those anymore. If you do find one, they're like $50. You know, these cost you like $1, $2 for one. So now you got this Sterling Soap Company, Sterling Spice. It comes in this little, open up, you can see it's got the soap in there. It smells like Old Spice. So it's kind of like a substitute for it. Not quite smells like Old Spice, but yeah, it does the job. So yesterday I smelled, you know, used that. Today I used Sterling soap. It was a lemon chill, I think they call it. So it was like smelling, it's like you ever use the lemon dish soap for washing, and then add menthol to it. So it was like you really ice cold, but you smelled like lemon, so it was pretty good. So that's pretty much everything I've been doing with all this stuff. So here in the future, I'm going to be probably going back and trying one of these. So yeah, just get back, maybe try this one again, just see how it works. Because one thing I always liked about it was that, look at I like a long handle. You know, the handles are fairly similar in length, but this thing, been using this for a while, a couple days now, and not liking this. Don't have the knurling down here, because if you get any soap on it, it just like starts sliding around in your hand. It's fine when it's dry, or you haven't got any soap on it, but as soon as you get soap on it, this thing is like whew, starts wandering in your hand. You don't want a wandering brush or razor around your face, because you can nick yourself pretty quickly. I definitely want to go back and use this one again. This is some good memories with this. I love this thing. So, all right, that's pretty much my current shaving journey. You can blame Palmer for me getting all this stuff out. It's his fault. He lit the shaving with the old style shaving again, which I always enjoyed it when I did it back then. It's like, oh yeah, took me just one time of doing it. It's like, oh yeah, I gotta remember. Oh yeah, it's like, seems like muscle memory just came right back, and it's like, yeah, got a nice shave today. All right, thanks, Palmer. We'll talk with y'all later. Elk Rex out.